If you don't want to be a bodybuilder, don't train like one. You can get into incredible fucking shape without making your life a prison, without giving up your social life, without giving up your favorite foods, training like a fucking boring robot. You just don't need to do it. And one thing that I see more and more now on social media, and you probably see it as well. How many bodybuilders, I mean, it depends how into fitness you are, but how many bodybuilders do you see, or ex-bodybuilders, or maybe not even professionals, but guys who used to train like a bodybuilder? How many people do you see move to like a High Rocks or CrossFit? And that's not the answer, by the way, okay? So if you don't like High Rocks and CrossFit like I don't be scared, right? I'm going to give you a better solution than High Rocks and CrossFit in this video, but you see it all the time. You see guys moving over to a more hybrid style approach. Do you know what you never see? People move from hybrid to bodybuilding. Never. You don't see it. And there's a reason for that, because it's a much better way to train. Now, like I say, it's not just High Rocks. It's not just CrossFit. I don't like either of them. High Rocks is gay. I've done one, but High Rocks is gay. Hybrid Rockstar is gay. Right? Let's just be honest. I have no problem with gay people, but Hybrid Rockstar, High Rocks, gayest name you could possibly pick for any kind of sporting event. CrossFit, never liked it. But there's a reason why people migrate over. And one of the things, the word that's been missing in the fitness space forever really is enjoyment. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that what I'm suggesting here is you can set everything up, training and nutrition, in a way where you enjoy every single little element, and you're never gonna encounter a day when you don't want to turn up and train. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am suggesting is the things that you can control, you should control. And the ways in which you can try and maximize enjoyment, you should. You absolutely should. If you don't enjoy the process, you won't be consistent. And if you're not consistent, there will be no result. There will be no six-pack abs. There will be no fucking 5 or 10k PB or marathon PB. You've got to enjoy the process. Now, hustle culture, and not even just in fitness, but hustle culture in general, has sold everybody a lie. It's warped everybody's perception of what's required in order to get the things that you want in life. I've fallen into this trap with fitness and business, right? For some reason, it almost seems like the most noble way to go and get your, or attain all of your dreams and ambitions, is to do it in the most restrictive, miserable, dedicated, committed, monk-like state that you can possibly imagine. Basically, just give up absolutely everything to go and get a result in whatever you want to pursue. That is such a retarded way to approach anything that requires a lot of work. Crafting your dream physique requires a lot of work. You're going to have to do this for a long time. And in order to do that, you've got to enjoy what you're doing. So shutting off the world, not seeing your friends, not dating girls, not having a drink if that's what you like every now and again, not eating your favorite foods, will only lead to you falling off. You ain't going to stick to it. And the whole game of life is consistency. Going hardcore, going extreme, is the beginner's way. The guys who are experts, the guys who have the best physiques, the guys who have the most money, the guys who have the businesses with the biggest impact, the guys who know the advanced way, they make it sustainable. Because for them to reach the level they're at, be it the physique, be it the finance, be it the business, be it the impact, they have to do it for a long time. They have to be incredibly consistent. You can't be consistent if you don't love the process, or you don't love the process to the best of your ability. So you've got to make it a lifestyle. The real cost of you being inconsistent in the gym is much deeper than just putting on a few pounds of body fat that you previously lost. It's much deeper than your Strava times getting a little bit worse, right? And you're getting less kudos. Living a fitness-driven lifestyle, having that at the forefront, keeps your standards high across the board. Standards are universal. If you're showing up day in, day out to the gym, and you're tracking your macros, and you're eating clean, single ingredient whole foods, and you're avoiding processed crap 90% of the time, right, with a little bit of enjoyment in there as well, and you're following good habits, you're eliminating the bad habits, and you're just involved in the self-improvement space. Every single avenue of your life, be it you as a business owner, or an employee, or a manager, or a boyfriend, or a husband, or a friend, or a son, you're better in all of those realms, because standards are universal. So what happens when you fall off with the gym and you're going through that jumping on the wagon, falling back off, and you're just generally inconsistent, you don't show up to work at the best of your ability. It's impossible. If you're not living with structure and routine, and you're not disciplined, and you're not currently going to the gym, and you're not doing all of the things that are attached to living that fitness-driven lifestyle, you're not showing up in work the same. You're not providing for your wife or the kids the same. You're not earning money the same. You're not thinking clearly because now you're stressed. Now you feel guilty for not being in the gym because you know you should be. Your mind isn't clear. You don't have that clarity. So it's much deeper than just that hour that you go to the gym. It's the downstream effects. The gym sets the temperature for everything else. If you're going and training really hard every single day, and you're getting up early and you're getting to bed on time, and you didn't want to get up this morning but you did, and you didn't want to train legs because they're still hurting but you did, and you didn't want to go on that run but you did it anyway because it was raining, you're constantly sharpening your mind and your inner state. You carry that over into everything you do. So when that process isn't there, you're in an emotional state. It starts to almost regress. And again, you take that into all of these other areas of life. So inconsistency is much more damaging than people actually realize. And that's why people are stuck. That's why your physique has never hit the level you thought it would, even though you see these like fucking 18, 19, 20-year-old kids on IG looking like fucking Greek gods. And you're sat there in your 20s, your mid-20s thinking, what have I been doing? Building takes years. Now that's physique. Again, that's money. Again, that's business. Again, that's a relationship. It's anything. Building to the level you want to build to takes a long time. Losing it takes weeks. You already know this with your physique, right? You grafted for 6 months to get those pounds of body fat off. How quick did you put them back on? We've all done it. There's no shame in it, right? But it's the reality. Every time you fall off, you're not stagnating. You're not putting a pause on the progress. You're moving backwards. You've got to understand this. Because the version of you that never falls off, not only would he have been locked on for that time, but he's compounded. He's never fallen off. And that's what progress is. When you make this a lifestyle, your growth isn't linear, right? The longer you do it for, becomes exponential. Every single avenue of your life will explode at a certain point if you've been living this way long enough. So when you keep breaking the momentum, you keep falling off because you're inconsistent, because you don't love the process that you're in, life also falls off. It's far better to be consistently good than inconsistently perfect. That is the concept that runs this whole idea of success, essentially. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to love every single element of the plan, right? But you can be consistently good and basically never break that. That's the standard you have to be operating at. To operate at that across the board in life, you've got to be consistent with fitness. So when we look at how do we actually make this more enjoyable, the first thing that we have to consider is you are here for a job. You're here for a result. You're here to get in the shape of your life. You're here to improve your confidence, rid yourself of the stress and the anxiety, become competent, and improve every avenue of life, right? And with that in mind, there are things that we still have to just fucking do. So the non-negotiables are still in place. The primary objective is still attaining the best result that you possibly can. We're not budging on that. Just because we're trying to maximize enjoyment doesn't mean that there aren't still things we're going to have to do that we don't necessarily want to do all the time, right? I'm not, again, saying you're gonna off the back of this video enjoy every single part of your plan and process moving forward. I'm not promising that. But what I'm saying is the things we can control, we do control. But the non-negotiables remain, right? Tracking your macros every day. Every fucking day, Track your macros. We live in a time of AI now. If anybody tries to tell me that it's too inconvenient to track macros, you are just a fucking loser. You are a loser. You are a victim. You just come up with the most bullshit excuses. There is no excuse at all to not track your macros. And that's even with balancing fucking eating out. This morning I went and got a coffee with my mate and had breakfast. I had some fucking double sausage, double black pudding, streaky bacon, poached egg, muffin type thing. It wasn't McDonald's. It was a night. I want to eat at McDonald's. I want to eat that shit, but and a couple of flat whites, beautiful. But I've factored it into what I need to consume. Progressive overload. We're building a physique. We're still gonna have to track lifts. We're still gonna have to train hard. We're still gonna have to track biometrics and data. Absolute non-negotiables, right? But there are things that we can control, and that is essentially the things that we're going to leverage. So this is where the freedom lives in the plan. Strength, hypertrophy sessions, the stimulus applied to the body that creates the physique. That has to stay rigid. In order to apply progressive overload, we need to do the same sessions and the same exercises. So you've got to do those sessions, you've got to track the lifts, you've got to come back next week, you've got to do slightly more reps or slightly more weight. In order to do that successfully, you've got to do the same sessions. Now we can cycle it every 12 weeks. I would say 12 weeks minimum. Some guys I run 16, 20 week splits if they're just enjoying it and they're in flow state. Some guys, if they want a little bit more variance, we can drop to 8. Doesn't really matter, but we've got to do it for a period of time long enough to actually see some quantitative or objective progress. But when it comes to cardio, we can vary that to the nines, really. That can be completely different every single week. One thing that I run with myself and with clients is a weekly quota. So rather than the fucking Stairmaster or an incline walk, it's a weekly quota of zone 2 aerobic work. So I currently have 90 minutes right now on my plan, 90 minutes a week. Clients have anywhere ranging from 45 up to 2 hours, depending on where they're at. And you can get that done however you want. So with my 90 minutes, if I want to do 2 45-minute sessions, I can. If I want to do 190, I can. If I want to do 3 30 minutes, I can. If I want to do 4 whatever, I can do that. So I can change up the frequency as long as I'm hitting that quota. Sound, is it optimal to hit for aerobic work? Slightly longer sessions or session volume? Yeah, probably. Does it matter that much? No, you're not a professional athlete. It's all these nuances that we can tweak and we can change. Also within that, as long as my heart is pumping in that heart rate zone, it's fine. So if I want to swim, if I want to run, if I want to sit on a stationary bike, if I want to go outside on a bike, if I want to play five-a-side or row, I can do any of it. Now I choose to run because I love running and I've got the bug for it again. But I don't have to do it. I'm not a prisoner to it. I'm not a prisoner to 5 20-minute cardio on the Stairmaster every single week, post-training or immediately in the morning or whatever these bodybuilding or physique guys follow. So I can manipulate it every single week. Now, I'll be real with you. The principle here is enjoyment as being a part of getting the best result. Another principle, which I'm not going to dive into in this video because it's slightly off topic, but it relates to this point, is efficiency. For my routine, I will pretty much do the same thing every week, but I don't feel like a prisoner because if I want to change it, I can change it. And that's the point I'm getting at here, right? You probably don't want to change it up every week. Same with nutrition, which I get onto in a second. You probably don't want to change it up all of the time, but it's having the ability to do so if I want to do it. That is what's liberating. That's what keeps me feeling like, yeah, I just fucking love the process because I can basically just, set it up however I want. Now, on that still, the weekly quota, that's for zone 2. That's for the lower, slower aerobic work. When we have the higher intensity work, like the HIIT sessions, the speed workouts, the treadmill workouts, the track workouts, the high rock style stuff, we have options every week. Those workouts change every week anyway, but you have the option on, let's say, for argument's sake, a Wednesday, track workout, speed workout, or high rocks workout, or like a Metcon style workout. That's always put on clients' plans, 2 options. But every week, those workouts change anyway. So you're coming in, you're doing a brand new workout. It's like, okay, something new, new stimulus, something exciting. Really love that one this week. Didn't quite enjoy that one, but it was something different. Actually, like the the variance. So cardio is where the freedom lives when it comes from a programming perspective. Now, when we look at the hybrid approach in general and having cardio within the plan and having it structured all of the time, just gone a bit blurry there. Sorry, boys. I think it's the green screen effect. Because of our higher expenditure, and we're moving more and we're burning more, we can eat more. That gives you flexibility, regardless of the phase, right? If you're in a gaining phase, you want to eat more. If you're in a fat loss phase, you want to eat more. You always want to eat more. You just want the leverage of being able to eat more food. When your calories are higher, you can play around with the types of foods that you're eating. I can eat fattier protein sources. I can eat a chicken thigh over a chicken breast, much more enjoyable. I can eat a lot more salmon. I can eat a lot more steak. I can eat a lot more higher fats. I can have peanut butter. I can have a lot more dark chocolate. It's just a no-brainer, right? We want to be as active as we possibly can in any given phase. Now, yes, you have to consider recovery. Yes, if you're in a fat loss phase, I can't just have you fucking tear ass in 2 hours of cardio and a load of HIIT and then 4 strength sessions a week on fucking fuck all calories. We have to be smart with it, but the principle still applies. Now, long term, we want to build nutritional leverage because this gains you your social freedom, right? Now, one thing that isn't on here is macros. So I do macros or give clients macros over a meal plan. They can generate a meal plan from it. Again, efficiency is another principle. I follow macros, but I have a meal plan that I follow every single day because it gives me speed. I can prep multiple meals at once. It's just easy. I know exactly what to consume every day. I don't have to weigh it out because I know it's on track. But if I wanted to make a random meal, if I fancied salmon pasta, if I fancied steak and this and that, which isn't on my meal plan, I just find a way to make it fit macros. So again, freedom. But nutritional leverage is the long-term aim. This buys you immense social freedom. And essentially what this is being on the highest calories you can possibly be on. Right now, I'm eating about 3,700 calories. And I've had a couple of new clients recently that I've been explaining this process to. I've been painting the picture that we're going to make this into a process that's sustainable and it's going to be, a lifestyle. And I've been painting the picture of nutritional leverage to them and they're fully on board with it. So while they at the minute are on fairly low food because that is required when you first want to pull the body fat off, over time we're going to get them up to like the 3,000, 3,500 plus calories without having a shitload of body fat. Right, you go through the fat loss phase and the deficit, you come out, you reverse diet, you push food up, you go through it again. When you next require a fat loss phase, you reverse diet again. That's where you build your leverage. So me right now, I'm still, I've lost my ab veins, but I've still got fucking veins everywhere else. I'm eating 3,700 calories. Now for me, to go out and eat like I did this morning with my friend, to get a Domino's every now and again, which I do enjoy, or a Five Guys every now and again. And when I say now and again, guys, I'm meaning like once a month. You shouldn't be consuming these things regularly. It's easy to do. So easy to do. Versus when you're on 2,000 calories, it's fucking really hard. Everybody can build nutritional leverage over time. So I'm going to continue pushing my food up, by the way. I'll exceed 4,000 calories in the next couple of months. And I'm still not going to let myself put on a shitload of body fat. I will gain some, that's fine. But when I come to my next fat loss phase, I'm not going to drop below probably 2,700 calories. That's leverage. I'll get shredded on 2,700 calories, like absolutely peeled to the fucking bone. That's leverage. Because even then, getting diced is going to be a piece of piss. And that's what the process essentially creates, right? When we build the freedom in here, and you no longer feel like a prisoner, you're more committed than ever before because you can see long term that this can be sustainable. And when you have that mindset and you're actually excited, and yes, you still deal with those days where you don't want to go gym, But when you feel that fucking amped up for what you do and how you train and what you eat, and knowing that you can balance it all and you can still be social and you still have the foods that you enjoy every now and again, as long as you hit your macros, as long as you turn up and fucking train hard, you're going to get the best result. It's very, very fucking obvious. You are going to come out with the best result that you've ever had in your life. And guess what? It's going to be easier than it ever was before. And you're going to maintain it long term. You will only ever fall off with fitness when it feels like you're in a prison. When it feels like the cardio's fucking boring and the training's fucking boring and you haven't selected exercises that you actually enjoy, and they're all of them, by the way, you know, because coaches sometimes do that. You know, there are things you must do. I say to clients, look, you need to do these exercises, but there's leeway. We need an incline press. Do you prefer Smith machine? Do you prefer dumbbell? Do you prefer, you know, you can work with clients on this. A lot of coaches don't do that, and people are going up and doing shit that they just don't want to fucking do. And that's when you're going to fall off. If you feel like you can never be social, if you feel like you can never go out and take your girlfriend on a date night or eat out with the boys, or if you like a drink, go down and have a couple of pints without repercussions, if you feel like that's what the situation is, you will fall off. It's a ticking time bomb. Real dedication is a lifetime of dedication. That's the only time commitment and dedication can actually be used. If you fall off after 6 months, I don't care how committed you were for those 6 months, you are not committed. So we never want to fall off, ever. And it's just that. That's basically it, guys, right? Inconsistency / consistency, if we look at it on the flip side, is way deeper than being jacked. This is about the standard that you hold in life. And if you can make your fitness lifestyle sustainable, enjoyable, and you're consistent with it, and you never fall off ever again till the end of your physical capabilities as a man, which is what most people fucking do, because we must be training all of the time, all of our life, right? This is not a negotiable thing. You've got to be in the shape of your life. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to be in the shape of your life. You've got to do that forever. That's how you squeeze the most out of life. Because your standard's been raised from fitness, and you take that into every other avenue of life. You make more money, you provide better for all your loved ones, you're just a better person to be around. You got higher energy. No brainer. So lead your life with fitness. Fitness is not your life. Your life is bigger than fitness. Your life is deeper than fitness. There are far more important things than going to the gym. But when you lead with fitness, everything else takes care of itself. Guys, appreciate you watching. Coaching links in the bio. There's also some free shit you can grab. You can grab the free masterclass. You can also grab a free hybrid training program with 5 daily habits and some journaling and reflection prompts as well. That's in the bio. Appreciate you watching. Hope you got some value, and I'll see you in the next one.